Today we're going to break down how modern conflict is, well, how it's evolving. We're going to look at a single moment that reveals a massive shift, where the battlefield is no longer some distant line on a map, but the very city you might be living in.
So picture this. It begins just like any other night. You've got the normal rhythm of life, traffic, people heading home from work, all the usual sounds. For a moment, everything feels completely, totally normal.
And then, that sound. A piercing siren just cuts through the air, and it forces everything and everyone to just stop.
In those few seconds, ordinary life just vanishes. That normal rhythm is gone, replaced by this tense, silent wait. And you're asking yourself, what's happening? What just got hit? And what in the world comes next?
Okay, let's really dive into this, because what happens in these moments reveals this critical gap between the protection we think we have from modern technology and the actual reality on the ground.
So, on one hand, there's this promise, right? The promise of an advanced shield, this technological bubble of safety. But on the other hand, you have the hard, physical proof. Damaged homes, power cuts, the things still get through. And that promise, it's broken.
And you have to understand, this isn't just about one event. It's actually part of a much larger pattern. A pattern where the very definition of a battlefield is being totally redrawn, moving away from some remote location and right into the heart of our cities.
This confrontation isn't remote anymore. I mean, we're talking about direct strikes on residential buildings in Ramat Gan and on essential civilian systems like power lines in Ras Ha'ain. These aren't military outposts. They're the very fabric of daily life.
And when the damage is this visible, this close to home, the whole crisis just shifts. It stops being an abstract idea on the news and becomes an immediate, personal reality. It's the sound of glass shattering, the sight of cars on fire, that sudden darkness when the power just dies.
Then you start hearing reports about things like sub-munitions. Now, what that basically means is that one projectile can scatter smaller explosives over a much wider area. And you can imagine that just ramps up public anxiety because suddenly the danger isn't just one point of impact, the entire neighborhood is now a potential hazard zone.
But the physical damage, as real as it is, it's only part of the story. There's another target in this new kind of conflict, and this one is completely invisible.
Which forces us to ask a really crucial question. If the goal isn't just to destroy a physical thing, what is the true objective here? What's the real target?
The real target is psychological. It's public confidence. It's the feeling that your daily life can continue as normal. It's an attack on that fundamental feeling of just being safe in your own home. And that's exactly why cutting a high-voltage line is so significant. It's way more than just a technical problem. It's a symbolic strike against the systems that keep modern life running. The message is loud and clear. Nothing and nowhere is completely protected. And this cycle, it just keeps repeating. The siren, then that awful, uncertain wait, then the sound of impact, and then the tense aftermath. It becomes this familiar routine that embeds a constant low-level stress into daily life. It creates a state of perpetual anxiety.
See, this pattern isn't random at all. It's part of a deliberate and continuous cycle. Every action is also a message, a kind of strategic signal in a much longer confrontation.
And both sides are using these events to send really clear messages. One side is demonstrating its reach, its ability to create sustained psychological pressure, and the other side is preparing its own people for a prolonged crisis, managing expectations for a long, tough road ahead.
You even hear it in official statements, like this one. When someone says the campaign is beyond the halfway point, what are they really signaling? They're telling you this isn't ending soon. They're shaping expectations for a long period of instability. And this really shows you the structure of the conflict. It's not a straight line with a beginning and an end. It's a self-perpetuating loop. A strike leads to a response, which leads to escalation, which then just repeats. Each action feeds the next with no obvious way out.
So the main takeaway here is that this whole confrontation has moved way beyond government press conferences and official military updates. It has left the briefing room, and it has entered daily life, creating a new reality. A reality that's felt directly in neighborhoods through the tangible proof of damaged buildings, the disruption of power outages, and the constant interruption of just normal life.
Ultimately, what this all reinforces is a fundamental shift in the nature of modern conflict. The front line isn't some distant, marked border anymore. The front line is the residential street. It's the power grid. It is the city itself.
And this leaves us all with a final,
pretty unsettling thought. As the line between the battlefield and the home continues to blur, the question is no longer just about the players involved right now, but how this new vulnerability could end up redefining security for cities everywhere.